Welcome, everybody, to the results show. It's time to reveal who is coming to St Andrews in the Classical Guitar Retreat and the grand final of the Gallery of Guitar competition. Kate, are you excited?
I have actual butterflies right now. I am so excited because every year this happens. I mean, the outstanding work from these guitarists. They play at such a high level, they make gorgeous music, and then our poor jury has to actually rank them and choose winners and finalists. I don't envy them one bit, but
No,
I'm
I
nervous
don't
for all
at
of them.
all.
I'm attached to all of them now, so I'm,
I
you
know.
know.
I know. Okay, it was lovely. It was such a great weekend. The level was so high, and the sort of art of music making was so much on show because they were choosing their own repertoire. They were getting right behind the music that they love, and we could see that. We could feel it. The audience could feel it listening in. It was so exciting to watch.
Yeah, they were having a really emotional experience
Yep.
watching a lot of this music, which I just think is like that's what it's for. And I do love that one of the things about our jury is that they're not necessarily like this finger goes here, this technique is this.
Hmm.
It's an entire creation of how you are communicating with the audience, with your music, your musicianship, your artistry, drawing sound from the
Absolutely.
guitar, and how you do that. I just think that's brilliant. So there's so many things to listen for.
Absolutely. And I mean, one of the things that struck me was so many repeat performers. They were coming back to have a go again, and they'd actually slightly adapted their style, adapted their repertoire, maybe tightened a few things up, and also thought about how it is to perform in a setting like what Gallery of Guitar offers in those preliminary rounds. It offers a huge big window for anybody to listen to your performance and see your music making. So you can think beyond a competition. You can think beyond a first round. You can try and make a little bit of a statement. A lot of people sharing their own compositions. Just
Right.
really, really fresh stuff. So from that perspective, has it been the third year of the competition, I was really delighted to see the students taking a little bit more ownership and therefore sort of control of what it
Mhm.
is to share their music and compete in this kind of environment. So bravo. We had some great comments just saying how much, obviously, not everybody gets to go to St Andrews, but how every single performance was really speaking to the audience and that everybody really in a sense was winning something from the evening. And everyone can go back and can check out those performances. They can relive those performances. They can see the chat coming in again from those three heats. So that music stays there and is a real testament to the artistry of these young people.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure they're all very nervous. They're probably in chat. I'll be in there too. Chat if you'd like to send love while we're watching and send them some encouragement.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, they're not biting their fingernails.
No, you've got to keep yourself from biting your fingernails for
Don't
sure.
want-
So just so everybody's aware, the jury went for 6 players, so they took the absolute maximum possible to be invited to St Andrews this summer and the final day of the classical guitar retreat. So that's really special. Last year we actually only had 5 finalists go forward. The first year we had 6, we had 5 the second year, but we're back to 6 and we're at maximum capacity, which is absolutely brilliant. We have Daddario on board. I'm even wearing the T-shirt of the wonderful Augustine strings on board. Alba guitar beads. There's so much swag and good things for them to compete for in person in St Andrews, and of course the opportunity to come back and perform the next year to the winner. A beautiful handmade classical guitar by James Lister, which I visited on Monday in the north of England. So a video is coming out on Gallery Guitar really soon.
Can't
Spent a
wait.
whole day at his workshop. The woods he was using, it's just amazing. So we're going to see that'll be exhibited for the whole week, and then of course it will be won on the Sunday, and just lots of opportunities for career development and the students to get their names out there. So you're right, Kate. Let's stop. People are just biting their nails and just, would you want to get on with it? So we're going to listen a little bit to a clip of each of the finalists. After we announce each finalist, we'll hear a little bit of their performance from the preliminary round, which can just remind you of what wonderful performances it was. So, Kate, if you want to take it away, and this is in no particular order, you could introduce our first finalist.
All right. Our first finalist is Elsa Canesse.
Absolutely beautiful
Congrats.
performance. And let's remind
Beautiful.
ourselves a little bit of that just now. gorgeous playing, absolutely
Gorgeous.
gorgeous playing. Yeah, yeah,
Gorgeous.
and of course there with that the Telemann arrangements that they were beautiful. Also, Elsa paired that with some Tedesco, and it just hit the brief perfectly in terms of contrasting repertoire. And she had a different stylistic feeling between both pieces in such obviously quick succession. It's really hard to do that, and she just had such poise and control, beautiful ornamentation, great
Beautiful
performance.
ornamentation. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's absolutely stunning. And for all of our finalists, and then every single guitarist that competed in the whole preliminary round, there is feedback coming from the judges, and I have had a little sneak peek at that. I've been able to see that coming in, and it's detailed. It's really helpful, and I think for everybody, finalist and non-finalist, it is just so useful for what to do next time, for how to enhance some of the great things that they were already doing and just make them even more impactful. So everybody that competed will be receiving an email from me with each judge's set of feedback for their performance, and I think that's really useful.
I think that's a really good reason just to enter, even just for that,
Yeah,
because then you
yeah,
get a free master class
yeah,
with some of the
exactly.
world's premier guitarists who not only know what they're doing, but they're also very kind and genuinely helpful.
That's it exactly, and also the
Yeah.
breadth of experience is not accidental in the
No.
sense that we have great guitar players who are also excellent audio engineers that run record labels, that for example have run festivals in the past, that are the benefactors of really interesting grants from their different arts organizations in their territories in the world to try and promote the instrument. So yes, they're getting feedback from really good musicians and great guitar players. They're also getting feedback from people who have established a career and know the things to do to help develop themselves as they go forward, and that's gold for a young musician. That's so important. Okay,
Absolutely.
let's go and talk about our second finalist. We're going to hear them play a little bit as well. So our second finalist, who will be joining Elsa in St Andrews, is Flavius Wagner.
Bravo, Flavius.
Yeah,
Beautiful. He plays with such assurance.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
love that. And still beautiful flow while just riding up and down that. That just looks so hard. That's got to be
Yeah.
hard.
Well, it's extremely difficult, but and also what's nice about the Flavius's approach to Bach as well is it still has space to breathe. It has lovely contours to it and shape to it all the time. Sometimes it can end up sounding a little bit relentless, when
Uh-huh.
all those counterpoint, all that lines, the multiplicity of things that are going on, it just
The
gets a little
math.
bit, yeah, like this. It's like a train coming at you. But actually, Flavius was really able throughout his whole back to sort of remain poised and in
Mhm.
control. So, and I think he had his eyes closed the whole time as well. It's one
Did
of the
he?
things that he was so into it, and
Right.
it was kind of just a really It was a performance full of elegance and full of understanding of the music, which was great across all of the repertoire that he presented. So we just heard a little clip of the Bach, but I will actually share longer portions of the finalists first rounds as we get towards the final in St Andrews, just so people have got a chance to refresh their memory of those individuals, just so you can really zone in and think, oh, what's going to happen in about 5 weeks time. It's really exciting.
It is. I've heard a wonderful comment of that Bach is not a race, which I think is a great way to put that. And he just brings wonderful musicality to it. And yes, it can become very math. And he brings wonderful elegance was the word.
Absolutely. And having that tempo still with a real vitality to the tempo. So it's quick fingers, it's really quick reflexes, it's really operating at a very high level, but still remaining calm and cool and no interruptions to the flow. Very hard to achieve. So bravo, Flavius.
Bravo, Flavius.
Okay. Yeah. So we have Elsa and Flavius to the final. Who is joining them?
Next, I would like to congratulate and welcome to the final Amirah Pranzl.
Wow.
So well done, Amirah.
Yeah. Such a tough piece. And she's all over it. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And I remember she was wasn't she the one that struggled finding the proper guitar?
That's right. Yeah. And then she's yep. And it fits her like a glove. It's perfect. She's just got it sorted out now. It's absolutely beautiful.
She is one with that guitar. That is really something else.
There was something about Amirah's performance as well. And, when I was reading the sort of judges' comments coming in, there was just this robust and strong kind of, approach, which felt so confident, but without sort of imposing a flashiness or something really over the top. It was just all there. So it encouraged you to listen in and really delve into the detail in our performance, across again all of our repertoire. We just heard a little bit of the Rodrigo Fandango there, but you can hear the crispness in our technique. And then we just faded out as she was starting to play some of those really lyrical, longer Rodrigo lines that come in the middle of that piece. Beautiful. Just gorgeous playing. Excellent. Okay, so that's the halfway point. That's 3 of our finalists confirmed. Our next finalist, who is going to join on the Sunday, the 12th of July, in the Laidlaw Music Centre at the Classical Guitar Retreat, is Jason Zheng. Yeah, excellent
Love
performance.
that. Love that.
Yeah, he had the Mio, and then he had the Rodrigo there. That was at the end of his first round offering. So again, like our other competitors, really understanding the contrast of repertoire that we wanted to hear, and very mature playing.
Very, very. Is he?
Yeah,
I know we're not talking really about saying what people's ages are, but he
of
skews
course. Yeah.
on the young side there,
Oh,
does he not?
definitely, yeah, yeah. He's either the youngest, certainly the youngest finalist, probably one of the youngest, definitely, who entered in the preliminary round. Maybe not actually the youngest, but very much at that end. So showing very mature playing at such a young age, which is
Yeah.
bodes really, really well for the future. And I think the experience of stepping up into this level is going to be really, really inspiring for Jason. So it's going to be really exciting. I'm sure there'll be a lot of practice going on in the next 4 or 5 weeks for everybody. But having a chance and an opportunity like this is really pretty special. So
It is.
delighted to see Jason join the others in the final as well.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
Indeed.
Oh, shall we? Oh my goodness. Chat,
Let's
keep
keep
sending
it
it. I
going.
love this, by the way. Chat is sending in some love. They're cheering for other folks. And again, I want to tell you, they might be lurking. They're not commenting, but all the finalists are watching right now. All the guitarists. So
Yeah.
send that love because they will read it, even if they're not going to chime in chat. So
Well, I
out
would
there.
say just before you announce the next competitor, the amount of competitions that I didn't even get to the second of round of, Kate, in my career, it's again, I was very lucky to get advice throughout my career when I, for example, did compete, and I did think sometimes it was lucky that I had a good Scottish tongue in my head and would go up and ask them a question. Do you know what I mean? So say you do a competition and it's quite intimidating to walk up to a jury member and say, okay, look, I know I didn't get to the next round, but could you give me a wee steer? Could you give me a little bit of advice? Try and give me something that helps me know what's going on. And when I started the Gallery of Guitar competition, that's why I wanted the jury live after every performance. That's why I wanted the written notes and feedback that goes out to every competitor in the next few days. And I'll be sending that out personally myself. That's what changes things. Even if you don't make it to the final, there'll be something in that written feedback. There'll be something if they watch it back and they go, oh, yeah, my performance, I did this. They picked up on that. They're talking about this. Why are they talking about that? When you're in a practice room and you're so focused on what you're doing, it's like tunnel vision. You can often miss perspective, and you can often miss some things that really are so important about live performance and what you're communicating. So I'm really hoping that this new format that we have for things like competitions and what we're trying to bring about a new sort of culture, a way of doing things here, really will help these young people in a way that I think some people were excluded from gaining that advice and gaining that help through other formats.
Well, I think doing it live is probably obviously high pressure, very scary. They get to be in their own environment and create their kind of piece that way, but then create that presentation and try and make a recital moment. I think a
Exactly.
lot of them have really succeeded in that moment where we feel like we're already at the recital
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah. It's their concert. It's their
Yeah.
performance. Yep. Absolutely. Sorry. Over to you. That was just me talking about what I think about competitions.
All right. Guitarists, stop biting your nails. Next to St. Andrews in the finals. Congratulations to Kianush Roberson.
beautiful, beautiful performance. I mean, after the whole of Kianush's first round, the jury were kind of, just really so positive about his performance. And this is something for every other performer that was part of this year to really pay attention to. I think Kianush has competed in this 3 times. So he's been present every year actually, and the first year he made it to the final, like this time that he will in St Andrews, which was incredible. So and in this performance we hear a development, we hear a difference in his playing. Things that were already there and that we could hear in previous years have been enhanced or brought out. There's maybe more ease at the expression and a huge amount of color in his playing. Just gorgeous.
Yeah, ease is the magic word there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's taking the notes. Take those notes. As Matthew
Yeah.
said, they are gold. And it's obvious. It really does work. So I just think that's remarkable. Congrats, Kianush.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we have one more player who is going to make it the sixth spot in our Gallery of Guitar competition final for 2026. What's fantastic is, these finalists, when they visit St Andrews, they come for a couple of days and they sort of get used to the little town of St Andrews and enjoy the surroundings. Obviously, the classical guitar retreat is in full swing, so the place is rammed with classical guitar players and really great teachers and performers. So there's concerts to see and things, but also they're going to meet last year's winner, Ines. She's going to be there. She's going to be teaching. She's going to be performing the same way that Ines met Eugen from the year before. So it's like a club. Do you know what I mean? It's like a fraternity. They all sort of kind of get to know each other, and there begins to be, I think a really nice. Just rapport between them all, which is really quite special.
Well, can I just say, I think that's something that's really important, is to have that community, because you do. Right? I mean, you and all of the jury and all of the guitarists out now, you have your own society, your own family, your own way of working together.
Exactly.
And they're the next generation coming up and creating that for themselves. And I love that this is the venue.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, and it's an opportunity for them to start to forge their own partnerships going forward as well, and even things that they may realize, I've got a potential partner there in an event or something that we can do together, and then it goes out from there. So yeah, it's about sort of fostering that ecosystem or that environment where these things can happen. So it goes very far beyond just winning the first prize. That's for absolutely for sure. But we will just be about to announce our final finalist. So fantastic performance in the preliminary round. Everyone really was very drawn to this person's playing. It is Sara Celardo. Yeah, goosebumps in her playing, actually. Yeah, really, really special. Great sound, great tone.
Yeah, she knows every single color that guitar makes, and she knows exactly how to find it and how to make it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Now, a lovely comment coming in here, Kate, from Lujubov, who was a great part of the streams during the heats, with great comments. And he today says a warm congratulations is in order to these 6 finalists and to the wonderful and obviously difficult job of selecting them. So we do pass on a huge thanks to Stephen, Matthew, Spanor, Emma, Tracy, and Uros, the judges that really poured over everyone's performance. And I've read, like I say, some of the written feedback already, and I'll be sending that out in the next few days to each competitor so that they can really start to learn from all the advice that they're going to get given. And I hope for those guitarists who were listening and thinking, oh, I'd like to be part of that, just look out on Galleria Guitar, because there'll be a 2027 competition and it is open to anyone to enter. So please keep an eye on the channel and make sure you put your hat in the ring, because you can learn so much for having a go in the 2027 competition. But 2026 is still upon us, and in July we will be live streaming the final from the Classical Guitar Retreat in St Andrews. And everybody on the channel, if you can't make it to St Andrews and be there live, you'll be able, of course, to watch these 6 finalists compete for the big prizes.
Yes, we hope we will see you all in chat. Many thanks to our chat. Wonderful fans that you are, so supportive of all of these guitarists. I know it means the world to them. So thanks to each and every one of you who has offered all of your kindness and wonderful words to them as well. And Matthew, thank you for creating this competition, and what a wonderful way for all of us to meet these new guitarists. And just this whole experience is fantastic. Thank you.
Absolutely. It is an absolute pleasure to be able to host something like this, and even more pleasurable to be able to host it alongside you, Kate, as well. So thank you for guiding everybody through many of these performances over the last few days, and of course, just hosting in such a fantastic way. And we will be back with more very soon.
We will.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Go and check out the heats if you haven't seen them, and now you know who's in the final and you want to go back and see how they got there. Go for it. And in the coming weeks, I'll be sharing a little bit more previews of our 6 finalists. And of course, if you can, get yourself to St Andrews in July. And if you can't, make sure you're live here on Galleria Guitar to check out the performance.
We'll see you. Thank you.
Bye for now, folks. Bye.